Welcome to Messy Maker. Today I'm going to show you what vision boarding is all about. A lot of people want to know, what exactly is vision boarding? Vision boarding is a way of taking what is inside of your head and sort of bringing it to life. Now this can be used in very many different forms. Some folks use it to vision what they want for the future. Others use it as a type of therapy if they feel like they're stuck, or if they feel like they want to get some sort of feelings that are inside, they can't get them out through words. Sometimes that's a little bit tougher for folks. They can do it through images. I'll show you a vision board that I've just recently completed. And this one, again, whatever reason you are vision boarding is yours. This one for me was about processing some feelings. And so, you'll see that there's a little bit of maybe a negative vibe towards this. Falling, the sky is falling. I've taken a moment to write over certain things, maybe draw some faces if those faces mean something to you. Thinking about the way in which these images sort of connected to how I was feeling in that moment. I am going to show you later on, maybe in a different video, what I plan to do with this one as well. So thinking about vision boarding is not just a way to get, your hopes for the future, but potentially processing feelings that you may be dealing with in the moment that need to get out in a certain way. So this is my that I've already created. I'm going to create a new one with a little bit more of a positive spin for all of you today. Is all about. So what you're going to need to do is get yourself something to glue down onto, whether that's a sheet of paper or what I have here is cardboard. Remember that this doesn't have to be brand new unless you want to keep your vision board. Even then, this was a piece of backing that I got when I purchased some frames. So just keep that in mind, that nothing has to be brand new for this activity. Use what you have. You'll also want some markers if you choose to write directly on your vision board. You're going to need scissors. I have a regular pair of scissors, and if you have fancy ones, you can always use, this one's called Sunflower or Majestic. You can use those to cut out your things from your magazines. You're going to need a stack. I don't subscribe to magazines because I think they're expensive. So I went down to my local reuse center. In your community, it could be called an Enviro Station. The one in my community is called the Hodgepodge Lodge, one of my favorite places to go. You get these for free. So look through what you have, because you will need a variety of different magazines. You'll need a paintbrush. It doesn't have to look like this one here. It can be a regular style paintbrush, but you will be using it with glue. So thinking about that, if you don't want to ruin one of your good brushes, these can be bought at any of your $1 stores, those types of things. Or people love to give these away in garage sales. So check that out as well. Different types of glue. This type of glue, white glue, school glue, whatever you like to call it, we're going to mix this with water. So you will actually need some water. I have mine in a cup because depending on what type of glue and the quality, you'll want to add different amounts to it. I like to add the water simply because it gives it that decoupage kind of feel. So thinking about that, different types of glue. I also have these stick glue if you prefer, simply because they were on sale. So if you want to use stick glue, you can absolutely do that as well. If you're going to use the ones, the white glue with the water, you'll want to make sure that you have some sort of container to pour this into, and then add the water to as well. You're going to need your cut up items here. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is essentially what you will need in order to vision board. So if we've got everything that we need already, I'm going to put these glue sticks aside because I like to get messy, which is why I'm the messy maker. Because if you're not getting messy, I feel like you're not doing it right. So you're going to take your white glue and you're going to take your water. Make sure your vision board is over here. You are going to unscrew the cap and you are going to find out that it's empty. See, it's already messy. We're already getting in a mess here. So we're going to go ahead and chuck that in the garbage. We're going to find a different one. We're going to open it up and we're going to squeeze some glue out. A lot of people think, okay, well, if my glue has gone kind of clumpy like this one here, I need to go out and get more glue. Nope, you don't. That's what water is for. So what you're going to do is you're going to add in a little bit of water. At first, go slowly, just a tad, just in order to break up the glue a little bit. It will still stick for you, I promise. And if you've added a little bit too much, you feel like maybe I just need a little bit more glue. I like to get a little bit more messy. We're going to squeeze out a little bit more here. Here we are. I'm going to take that. Okay, until we've got what we feel is a great mix of water and glue. So make sure you do that up in there. Okay, and this can sit for a little while. You're going to want to make sure that you've already sort of cut up, which I already do. So make sure that you're doing this once you've had those, but I did want to give you an idea of what you're having. This, because there's water in it, can sit for a little while. It won't get hard too quickly. You do want to remember, if you are using one of your favorite brushes, or if you are using something that you don't want ruined, is you'll want to clean the brush as quickly as possible once you're done using this for the vision board. So you've got your glue, you've got your scissors, you've got your magazines. Here's the thing about vision boarding. What you want to remember is that it's whatever connects for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be aligned with what the picture is for. So if we're thinking about what our future could look like, if what we're vision boarding today is what does future look like, we may want to pay attention to the background images. Is what we are looking for home-based? Are we envisioning a beautiful new home for ourselves? If not, take a look at what the writing says. And don't just think about like the big, bright, bold ones. Think about these words too. Do they connect? Are they things that you would want to have on your vision board? So bright and beguiling. Is that something that you're interested in? Then cut that out. Give you an example of one that I have put aside. This is Real Simple. I've never opened up a magazine called Real Simple in my life until this vision board. So what am I looking for? I'm looking at the cover. A lot of the times, big poppy images are on the cover. And you can actually see that on this one. And I've already sort of started cutting this one out because it resonated for me. It says, say yes to saying no. I think a lot of us have the tendency to overdo it for ourselves. So this one really resonates with me. So I wanted to cut it out. Here's the thing. Don't forget, you don't have to be perfectly cutting it with edges that are nice and tidy and neat. You can do whatever makes your heart sing. Now, you can see here that there's this blue splash. You don't need to cut around it. Let me show you. If you're just going to go ahead and cut through it, what you'll do when you're vision boarding is you might stick this down on here and then stick something over top of this. You'll want to create layers of things. And like, for example, there's this orange little sticker here that I can't seem to get off. What I'll do is I'll stick something on there to cover it up later on. So something to think about. So I'll add it to my pile. The pile is important too. Not everything that you cut will end up on your vision board, and that's okay. You're going to want to prioritize this pile. When everything has sort of sparked its interest and you're ready to go, that's when you can look at what priorities look like. The other thing you're going to want to remember, there are two sides to a magazine page. So you'll want to make sure, like, if I cut this image out, is there an image on the other side that I would also really love to cut out? If you do, you're going to have to choose. That's the hardest part about vision boarding, I would say. So just thinking about that. You'll see here that this is a really big image, as the cover was, right? Big images are not bad. Either you could take the disco ball or you can use the entire image by itself and then layer over top. So don't let big images scare you. Just use a big enough board. What caught my eye was these little gold shimmery pieces. These are really great for covering up those areas that have something in them that you don't want. The opposite side will have images. Just keep your eye out on for that. You'll want to pay attention to things like text and pictures. Again, it doesn't have to be the big text items. It can be the smaller text items. This one I actually ended up cutting out. And I love all of the gummy bears, but I was like, I just need a piece of it. So I did end up just cutting out really roughly, you can see, just in order to have pieces of the gummy bears with the wording. I also have here, love this. Now, don't take things literally. You don't have to have a cat or a lizard or a bird, which I do have a bird, or fish, which I do have fish, to be able to put these into your vision board. What might stick out for you is perhaps you're a Pisces. Pisces oftentimes are related to that fish, or perhaps it's the year of the snake and that's really auspicious for you, or really something that is exciting or something that is meaningful to you. Don't just take this literally. Go beyond that. What does this mean for me? What can I possibly do beyond that? Perhaps birds mean freedom or flight. Perhaps a hare is, or a rabbit is something lucky. Take those pictures. Don't just use one for one. Think beyond the picture. If there's a ladder, maybe you're climbing up the career ladder. I love frames in magazines because you can cut out this lovely human and insert yourself or insert your family, whatever that looks like for you. So consider looking through magazines just for bigger picture items. And you can see I cut out a whole page. So this one could mean, for me, I kind of saw it as rebuilding or building. I also like the how to fix almost anything because I'm not a perfectionist. Thus the messy maker. Life is not easy, but here this just really spoke to me about what can I do and what can I take forward. I may or may not use it, but I'm going to keep it there. You can see that in this one there was clearly something here that I didn't like, so I cut it out. But I did really love this projection of upward movement. There's my gummy bears, as you can see. So I have a whole bunch of things here. And again, I cut out the big piece, but later on I'll go in there and maybe cut a little bit closer. It doesn't have to be perfect when you cut it out of the magazine. The other note on magazine items, and here actually you can see, I really love books. So I really loved this image. And I felt like this image was great too, and I couldn't decide. But in the end, I actually ended up going with the book. Sometimes you'll find the same image in a magazine, just smaller. So I actually have this in my pile here somewhere. There it is. I have the smaller version of it. So look for those opportunities as well. Sometimes it's really great to peruse the magazine before you cut stuff out of it. I love these two small pieces, and they may be great to cover up those areas that have logos or things that just weren't going to fit with my vision board pieces. The other note to make about magazines, I have a very wide variety. Interesting one, which I've never heard about, called the power issue. I just thought, hey, there's a spaceship. Maybe that's something that will resonate with me. There's some poker items here as well. Really great fashion if that's what you're vision boarding about. All of these things are and can be relevant to your vision board. So think about picking up a wide variety. You may never read what's inside of them, but the pictures may speak to you. Again, I would like local things. So AMA is something that is very local to the area that I'm in. And so wanting to make sure that I pick up those things. So in case there's something local that I want to add to my vision board, it's there, it's relevant, it can be used. Okay. When you're done picking out your things from your magazines, make sure to keep your magazines. You may want to do vision boarding once a month, once a week, whatever feels good in your soul is important. So find something you're passionate about, set up a schedule, set up a girls' night or a guys' night or a them's night. I'm going to share with you mine's about growth. What comes next? Where's that creativity? What's really in my soul about how do I move forward with the next phase of my life? And so with that in mind, I'm going to go through all of these pieces and decide what this looks like. A couple of different techniques for that. One, you could go piece by piece and you could go, okay, I'm going to glue this down because it feels right. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue this down and it's going to feel right. I'm a little less of the glue right down kind of person. I do want to see what is resonating the most for me. So I oftentimes rank them, if you will, or at least categorize them by maybe words versus pictures. And then canvas sort of speaks to me, right? We said I was going to do the books here. And there will be times where you cut something out and you think, why the heck did I cut this out? I'm not really sure why I cut this out. This gives me hamster wheel feels and not really feeling the hamster wheel anymore. So I could put this and I could put this here and a couple more things. So images on one side. Okay. I am going to keep what does speak to me, and that's the middle. But what I'm going to do when I glue this down, which is now, is I'm going to mix my glue with my water. Okay. Don't need a lot. I want to make sure that it's on there. Flip it over. Give it a nice clean paint. That's why I love this particular brush. One, because it's easy to use, but two, because when I'm done, I can just chuck it. It's a lot harder to clean these particular sponge brushes from glue because the glue sticks pretty quickly. And I'm going to glue this down. Now, you see that I changed it from being straight on to being a little bit of an angle. Do what feels good for you. I love a little off kilter. I love a little quirk. And so I do that, and then I glue down the sides. It's not necessary to glue down the sides. It just adds a little something. What you will want to remember if you are using this type of glue is that if and when you're done and you don't put it underneath something flat and weighted, it will sort of curl up. But you can uncurl it again, which is what I did with my other vision board that I showed you earlier. So you put that down, you wipe away a little of the glue, it's secure. And now you're like, okay, what do I put in there? Okay, well, I think that this one is speaking to me. So put a little glue down, put a little of this, and let's see, what else is really speaking to me today? Oh, I love this. Anything, what did I say, about working from the heart, that's where it's at for me. Now, what I might want to do first, add away a little bit more of that white. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Life isn't perfect, so your vision board doesn't have to be either. It's just to give you an idea, just a remembrance of, hey, what am I aiming for? What's important to me today, tomorrow, the next day? I like to add it all over the picture. It just gives it a little bit of a shine, a sheen. It also helps you glue down whatever is coming after it. Also, don't need scissors. And if it slides, maybe that's a sign. That's where it's supposed to be. So you cut that off, just keep gluing down. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to find those pictures, find those sayings, glue them down. And if they wrinkle, which they will, you can either quickly try to straighten it out or accept it as part of the vision. My hands are full of glue now, which is great. They're getting messy. We're getting real. So make sure that you feel the glue. Make sure you feel the canvas. Make sure you feel the feelings of the actual magazine paper. Just have fun. So get to vision boarding and we'll share what we have at the very end.